Okay, let's see how loud that is. I think that's about right. And oh, wrong mouse. How's it going, folks? Welcome to the live stream on your happy Friday. I can actually unplug that. I'm not going to do music today. No background music for us because I keep getting copyright notices, even though I'm supposedly not using copyright. Like, I paid for this Monster Cat subscription and I just can't get a decent mix that doesn't have some copyright restriction on it. So I'm done with that. And plus I always have trouble with audio stuff. So that kind of sucks. And I want to get done with that. But thanks for watching along. And as always, if you want to say hi in the chat room, I'm more than happy to hear you say hi. It helps remind me that this is worthwhile of getting this all set up and everything. So anyway, today I'm going to be, let's see, last time we were working on some tests, and if we look at our tests, increase the text size, we have, not in here, but this issue where if we're trying to test in Firefox, it doesn't work because get controlled input value is returning blank. And get controlled input value is a special action that we take to focus and then use this select all command and then return the selection from the clipboard. And for some reason that's returning blank in Firefox, and so what we could do is just skip it in Firefox for now versus spend a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on. But you know, we have this desired capabilities check, and what I'm thinking is that we move this thing to basically a not Firefox kind of setup. Maybe like that. We could do not Firefox. And I have an idea for how to make this happen. In our configuration file, we have hooks that we can set up everything. And okay, here's the hooks that we have. And in them, before text execution begins, we can do some stuff before a command, before a suite. I think this is what we want to hook into. And in our, no, not a before a suite, we want before the test. Yeah. Let me see. The difference between a suite and a test. In Mocha or Jasmine, I believe the suite is the describe block. In Cucumber, the suite is the scenario, but there's also a before scenario hook that's not in this file, but is available. Let me see if I can pull that up. That one. Come back up here. And, oh, I did get a, actually, I can close that. I can close that. For some reason, when I reopen my Chrome tabs, it will reopen the pin tabs as main tabs. It's quite annoying, actually. Oh, and I do want to check and see how these have been going. But I was going to look at WebdriverIO on their developer guide. hello person who just joined, I think. If it's always hard to tell if people have joined or not. I can just get the number of viewers, and so I can watch that number to see if it goes up or down. And believe me, I watch that number for, it's like, I need to not be so distracted by it, but it's also, I don't know. It's nice to know. It's nice to know. Anyway, so like that number goes up, but there's no like list of people viewing. It's just a number, which is probably good for from a privacy standpoint. You probably don't want to like have your name on there if you don't like. You can lurk. Don't worry, you're more than welcome to lurk on this channel. Anyway, yeah. If you did just join, I'm trying to get into some before hooks to skip tests based off of that. And what I was going to do is look at the test runner. There's a configuration file in here. Hey, thanks for saying hi in chat. Let's see, Neurofan. I always have fun trying to pronounce these names. Okay, so so there was a before suite, but yeah, here it is. Before session. No, not before session. Sorry, before scenario is what I was going to look at. Yeah, the cucumber hooks. So there's before feature, before scenario, before step, after scenario, after feature, which is different from the Mocha hooks, which are before suite, before test, and before command, and all the afters as well. So we're just going to check out before test. And what we're going to do is we're going to check test name to see if it includes an exclamation mark. If so, check if value after matches the browser name value. So what I want to do, it's no longer a temporary thing. I'm going to check the browser options, desired capabilities, browser name to see if it has Firefox in it. If so, we say pending, which should skip the test in theory. That's what should happen. So to get the test, I'm going to log out the test. And then I'm also going to log out this value and comment that out for now. And I'm just going to run one test. So I need to bring up my terminal. Whoops, not that. New live recording. Bring that up over here. Okay. Sites/React WebdriverIO test. And then I'm going to unset this host. I need to start up my React DOM fixtures. Fixtures DOM server. Start that up. I need to unset it over here. Okay, that's going to start up this local server. Hopefully, okay, yeah. And then I'm going to run a test, so npm test. And I only want to run, let's see, what file did I change that on? I changed that here. So I only want to run number inputs.test, so I can just type number inputs. I can close that. There we go. And then I kind of don't want to run all these tests. So what if I do a dot only here? I think it should only run this test. So let's try that out. Okay, so it's running in Chrome and Firefox. Why is it running? Oh, it's running a whole bunch of tests. So in Chrome it ran 3, in Firefox it ran 2. That's because backspacing I have the same thing, so I would probably want to put not Firefox in here as well. So let's see, pressing E at the end, Firefox. It didn't even run that test. Okay, so there's something, describe exponent form. Exponent form, supports exponent form 2E4. And then, it's like it, oh, you know why? I know why, hold on. That sneeze is why. I forgot that I switched from Mocha to Jasmine. And so with Jasmine, you can run fit. Let's try this again. Oh, and then you see we got the type, the title. So we're going to get the title and compare it to the browser name. So, yeah, this was the error we were getting in Firefox that I mentioned before. Ah, thank you. Thank you for the kind blessings. Okay. So we'll do test.title. So we want to see if the test name includes a that followed by text. I'm going to need to use a regex for this. And then we'll skip, depending on that. So this is coming across correct. So that'll be browser name. There. So let's make that regex. So my favorite tool for this is regexer.com. And how I'll do this is just grab a couple of examples. Go, and this one we'll be very excited about this test, and the reason is I kind of want to see that it doesn't select this test. Okay, so then I need to get let's see, for this regex I want to say anything. It can be anything before and after. Let's see, flags, case insensitive, not multi-line. I do need it to be case sensitive. So this is great, getting the first. Let's see, I gotta remember how to do this. Question mark, what's question mark? 0 and 1, so I need 0 or more of the preceding token. Do that as well. No, maybe I do want multi-line. Trying to figure out why it's not picking up these. So the dot is anything. Mentioned in the chat room, regex101.com. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. I think I've seen this one before. You can switch your flavor, that's nice. Yeah, they have all these quick references. All super handy stuff because regular expressions drive me crazy. What if I do that? And maybe it's not multi-line. Whoops. Turn off global. Nope, that's not right. Just wondering why it's not picking these up. So match any character except line breaks. Maybe that's it. What if I did like a /n? Yeah. And then this one doesn't have a line break, but if I hit enter, it would. That's weird. I thought it would take each of these. Oh, that's okay. I need like a plus or minus, but I need my capturing group there. Okay. So now it matches these two, but it doesn't match these. So that's good. And then I also will want a word character. So we could also do this style, or yeah, I think that's good. I was gonna say, like, if we throw it in the middle, but that would be kind of weird. Like, technically you could do that, and I don't see any reason why I should prevent it. But what if I do plus some more text? Okay, that's good. So that would match, but that doesn't match. I think this is a good regex that I'm going to go with. So basically, it'll grab anything that has the exclamation mark. Oh, here's one issue. The group 1 is only grabbing the first letter, and I want it to grab all letters. So that would be, I'm going to look at quantifiers. I want one or more. Yeah, so it's got to be a plus, because it can't be a star, because it has to have a character. Because let's see, if I did a star, yeah, see, it's going to match those two. But I don't want that. I want a plus. And then if we look here, the group 1 is Firefox. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. So we'll go back to Sublime Text and to our configuration file. And we're going to use the match. We'll do regex is equal to, and then let's see, that. I don't know if I need to do global or not. I don't think I need to do global. I think that's mostly just for if we had more than one line, but we're not going to have more than one line, so it's fine. Okay, so test.title.match regex should work. We can try this out by just opening up a command line and pasting that in, and then instead of test.title, we would just do this. And then I need to fix my quotes. Okay, so that returned an array of the match, sorry, the initial input, and then the group that was matched. Let me see, mdn match JavaScript. See what this says. Oh, and one other thing I like to do here is when I get a good match going, I save it and then just throw it in the comments. That way, in case I need to update it, like if the regex was wrong or something, I have a good starting point. Yeah. Okay, and then let's see, return value. String matches the expression. It will return an array containing the entire match string as the first element, followed by the results. Okay, that's what we would want. So here they probably have an example. Maybe. Oh, they don't. I was hoping they would have an example with an if statement. But I should be able to say const matches is equal to that if matches. Then we want to check. So this is saying that it does have a match. Then we want to check. So this is saying that we do have a test that has some sort of skip in it. Let's throw these side by side just for a little bit easier. Okay. So now we need to check if that skip is based on that browser name. So I will do something like const name is equal to that, just to make things shorter. That's all. Hello, new viewers. Welcome to the live stream. I am looking at a way to skip tests based off of browser names right now in WebdriverIO. So that we can have like one-off cases where we want to skip a test. Okay. So far I've got a regex that checks for a exclamation mark with a name after it. Now I need to check to see if name is equal to, and then I can't just do matches 1. It needs to be a substring of that. So I think substring is the one I want. It could be something else. So let's see, substring. And if you did just join, say hi in chat and let me know how your Friday is going and what time of day it is as well. I'd love to hear from various parts of the world. It is Friday afternoon where I'm at, down in sunny Texas. But it might be Friday night, or I'm guessing it's not Friday morning for anybody out there right now. But if it is, good Friday morning. Substring, okay. Displays M. So I want to get, starting from the first character all the way to the end. And I always get these two confused. I should be careful not to get them confused. It's very important not to get them confused. Okay, so substring represents starting and ending. Starting in the length. So I do want substring. And I think if I omit the first one, omit the second parameter, it just goes all the way to the end. And again, we can test this. Portland, nice. It's sunny in Portland. That's cool. Usually a bit more cloudy there. Oh, perfect. That's what I wanted. Substring 1, give me my result. Okay. Now, one thing that this doesn't handle is if you want to skip multiple ones. So if you wanted to skip Firefox and Safari. Let's go back to here and go ahead and add that in. So it still catches it. Group 1 is Safari. Oh. So I want it to catch both. Rio. Nice. So it's kind of afternoon everywhere. Yeah, don't jinx the sunny weather in Portland. Don't worry, it should be a lot better come June for y'all than it will be here, where it's gonna be boiling hot. Although I kind of like the heat. So it's only catching one. What if I do a plus sign? That, no. I need to catch multiple of these. So what am I doing wrong? How? So it's basically treating this whole bit here and then catching that. So this can't be a dot. It could be a dot, but not an exclamation mark. What if I do that? No. So I want to say anything but an exclamation mark followed by a word. and it could be 0. Oh, this is getting complicated. So that's negated. What if we do that instead? Whoops. Anything but a new line and a return. So here, I think I would have to do that to limit it. So not a new line or a return, but also, what if I just do this for now? Okay. So it's not grabbing that second group. Yeah. 0 or more of the preceding token. Dinner time over in UK. Yummy. Is it sunny there, or has it been UK weather? Which I think is also a bit, I guess this time of year, maybe not so bad. Could that also be the issue? Well, that at least matches twice. Group 1 Firefox, Group 1 Safari, and then more. So how do I catch more than one group? Details. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's see. Let's go over to groups. Groups and references. Non-capturing group is what I want. So I could do a non-capturing group here that we could have 0 or more of these that are, and then I'll say that. Group 1 is Firefox. I should have a second group here. Enjoy your week of summer. And hopefully you don't get any extra, like leftover hurricanes this year. Hopefully we don't send any your way. Didn't y'all get one last year? Like this big wind event up there? Non-capturing group, numeric reference. Anchors, beginning, end, word boundary, not word boundary. Wonder, maybe I need like a beginning and then an end. Oh boy. So what if I drop that? Might need multi-line. Yeah, I need multi-line if I'm doing that. Okay, let's try this again. Non-capturing group. Well, at least it's getting what, Firefox first now. So what if I move this to here? And then this can be one or more of the following. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, because this needs to be 0 or 1. 0 or 1 is what I need there. So groups or no, quantifiers. 0 or more, optional, 0 or 1. So that would be a question mark here. This would be a question mark. And I've totally messed it all up. That works, but this does not. This would have to be a plus. All right, that doesn't make sense. What if? So the word can be plus, more than one word. And then maybe I can get rid of that. And then I need to turn multi-line back off. Maybe this whole thing needs to be a group. I might just skip adding the support for now, because I'm just not that good at regex. And I might just go with this for now. I think I will. Yeah. When things just don't quite make sense, I just want to make sure that this actually works first. Okay. So yeah, this will only check if you have one. Another option I could do is instead of basically make this whole thing a single group. So let's undo all of, well, I kind of want to keep that. And then that should be /w, and that should be /w. I wonder how that would work. So let me get my regex updated here. And then got that. And then there on Safari. What's that do? Identifier regex. Oh, darn it. I can just delete that line and paste that in there. So that comes with 2 results, one for Firefox and the other for Firefox. Oh, because it only matched that part. So it didn't like this. Okay, never mind then. If name, so if Firefox is equal to Firefox, then do pending. Okay, in theory this should work, and I should be able to run this and try it out. Let us see. And I also brought cookies. I have a viewer who enjoys cookies, and we talk about it pretty often. Oh, I should have added some regexes. Okay, so this would be has match, and then this would be is browser. So I don't know if maybe pending isn't working. Maybe it needs to be test.pending. That could be it. Let's also log. Yeah, who doesn't like cookies? I know the Cookie Monster likes cookies. That's for sure. We will log this just to make sure that's right, and then I'll also log the name. I'm definitely going to chow down on these cookies in just a second. Yes, that's going to definitely be a thing. Okay, we have a lot of stuff. Firefox still threw an error, so it still ran. Test.pending is not a function. So both came back with has match and has match. Firefox and Chrome, those didn't match up. Oops. Firefox and Firefox did match up, so it is the browser. And then test.pending. Okay, so looks like the logic here is pretty sound. but this test.pending isn't a thing. We could also log out this, perhaps. And you know what? I think it's not a thing because this isn't Jasmine code right here. This is WebdriverIO code that's coming through, I believe. Is anybody watching, any of you not like cookies? I need to know so that I can just understand the mind of a maniac. Okay, so here we have this, which refers to our WebdriverIO configuration. And then this is the test itself. Title, full name, parent, past equals true. It's already setting it to true. How ambitious of it. Let's see, Jasmine, skip test, programmatically. So that's where I found, what was it, pending. Skip if condition. What did they do here? They marked done. Oh, this one got lots of votes. Wow, that's... You're overwriting describe and it just to take an extra one. That seems a lot like a lot of work. Yeah, see, because what happens, Jasmine added a third argument as a timeout. Right. Let's see, before hook. What do we have? Before each, yeah. Run test equals false. Oh, and then they just check it in there. That would be a lot of effort. Okay, I'm gonna have a cookie. It wasn't as chewy as I was expecting. That chocolate, it's good. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a lot. You don't want to write that for every single test. Skip if. So this, they basically do the same thing as before, which is kind of overwrite the test, the way you call your test. Let's see. Mocha assume. Assuming it. That's kind of neat. I think, yeah, Mocha has a grep function, but this isn't going to work when we're testing on multiple browsers at once. What's a plugin snippet for outputting the console log at line statements? That is a snippet that I have. Where did I get it from? I can't ever remember where snippets are. Project, no, tools, snippets. And I don't know, how do I edit that? Because this is the thing with Sublime Text that I'm not crazy about, is it's hard to edit your snippets. Preferences. I can create a new snippet. Let's see, snippet. Oh, so many snippets. Let me see. Prototype function, no. How did I do this? I did Sublime Text console.snippet. Because I want to create a snippet for browser.debug, because I typed that in a bunch. This is probably it. I think this is where I got it from. So, yeah. Let me see. Can I just type new snippet? No. Can't remember how to create new snippets. But it was something along those lines. So tools, snippets. There, new snippet. Then I paste that in. And for my snippet, I added a key binding to it. So if I save this under console Sublime snippet, will a quick look work? No. That's the other thing, is it's so difficult to edit a snippet once you've gotten to it, unless I am unaware, but I have to get to this directory to edit this snippet, and I don't want to. But I do want to edit that one. See if they have anything in here. How to create, okay. Tools, new snippet, paste it. Tab trigger. I kind of want to figure this out just for me. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, either browse to the file or using package resource viewer, open resource user. Oh my gosh. Let's try that. Package resource viewer. Yeah, open resource. What was it? Snippet? Mocha snippets? Oh, but that's if it was installed. Oh, okay. Never mind. Package resource, open user, and then console. Okay. That's all. Tab trigger. So that's if I type c.l, it would work. c.l, but that's not how I do it. I do Command Shift L. So how did I add that shortcut? I think that's under Preferences, Key Bindings. Yeah. So here, when I press Super plus Shift plus L, it's going to run the insert snippet command and pass in my console snippet to do that. So I could actually, let's do this real quick. Let me see, Command-Shift-B. It opened up a new, okay. That's because I hit Command-Shift-N. So I want that. I will save that as bd.sublime snippet. And then in my here, insert snippet bd. Let's give this a try. Yeah, except that that's all messed up. So I could just do that. Debug. Oh, that was DB. BD. Browser debug. Okay. Or Command-Shift-B. Cool. I got this browser debug set up. I'm going to use that pretty often. So thanks for asking, because that helps me a lot. So yeah, that's the console snippet. I go back and forth of whether I actually like having the line number in there. It's really nice if you want to, like if you're paying attention to it, but what I found happens a lot is I'll like move things around and then the line number gets completely out of date. Having the file name really helps. The other thing I'll do is like duplicate it and change it to this. Instead of like coming down and hitting it again and then doing this. So then I have two with the same line number. So that's just one thought on that. Okay, before test. Let's see what else we can get, like arguments. Maybe there's something else that comes in. And then the other thing I'm gonna probably end up having to do is look at the Jasmine framework adapter for WebdriverIO. So the only arguments that came in was just the test. So nothing in there that we can really grab into. Okay, so I'm going to come over to here. Let's jump into the code base. And we need Jasmine framework. And then from there, we're going to look at the adapter. And there's going to be this before each. So this right here basically hooks the before test command, or hook that WebdriverIO has, into the before each command for Jasmine. So let's see what before each is in Jasmine. Setup and teardown. Share variables. I wonder if we could change that. And if you call anywhere within the spec body, no matter the expectations, the spec will be marked pending. Parent, file, full name, type. Wonder if there's anything we could change in here to make Jasmine skip it. Don't care about spies right now. That's our spies still. Okay, so someone just asked what the use case to skip test by browser type, and can't we set capabilities to set options? So the issue that I'm running into right now, and you can see it in my terminal, is this single test passed in Chrome, but the same test doesn't pass in Firefox. And so if I come up to my capabilities, I have two capabilities, one Chrome, one Firefox. Now, one thing that WebdriverIO does allow you to do is define where was it? In here, specs that run. So you can basically override your default specs, but specs only looks at the file pattern. Specs doesn't look at the name of the file. That makes me wonder in Jasmine options, exception result, grep. There is a grep, and let me see. I'm wondering if we can change, like basically pass into our Jasmine options the browser name that we're testing with, but I don't think we have that information at this point in time, whether we're testing in Chrome or Firefox. But so the reason why it's failing in Firefox is this get controlled input value that is defined here. It's like a custom function that you'd have to watch the earlier streams to understand what I'm doing here, but basically when I get the value from a text input field, it isn't returning the actual value. And so I had to do this workaround to get the actual value inside that test field, but it doesn't work in Firefox. It works in Chrome. This workaround works in Chrome, but not in Firefox. And I've also had some other issues in various other times where for one test, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work in this one browser, but it works in every other browser, and I want to test it in every other browser, and I just don't have the time, or it's not really worth the effort to test the single one in this browser. So I want to be able to skip based off of browsers. So that's kind of the reason for going down this path. And it'd be nice to kind of use it outside of this test suite itself. Okay, so I have my before test. Let me see what's in here. I wonder if instead of trying to check it before the test, we look through the entire list of tests and then delete it from there. So let's run this again. Do I eat you or not? I don't think so. Not yet. Here, I will have it if I raise my microphone. Hopefully that sound wasn't awful. Okay, doesn't seem to be too. There we go. Just put that right there. Awesome. Got that little cookie there. Command start not found. Oh. Why did it run that? Strange. I gotta do something real quick, just a second. I had to open up the vents for my office because the air conditioning vent comes right down over my ear, and it makes this ear super cold, which isn't fun when I'm working, but it also, when I have the vent closed, it gets really hot in here. And I have a bunch of lights on just to get the setup and everything, and it's a problem that it is so hot in here. Could we do using exclude in capabilities? No, because exclude, again, only works on the file name. So exclude here, we're excluding any file that has a page.js in it. So it only works on the file name. So we would have to basically take this one test out of the number inputs test and move it into one called number inputs not Firefox. And I really don't like the idea of that because you're like separating everything out. Okay, so we had the suite that tells us nothing. Okay. So that's not an option. Let's go back into here. Putting this cookie right here has really made me want to eat it. Ajax boot.js. Before each. Oh, Jasmine. Jasmine skip test by. I wonder something. In one of the WebdriverIO hooks, there's an onPrepare statement. And we can get the capabilities. And I think we can edit the configuration as well. So if I do config.jasmineOps, which is what it is, right? Jasmine node ops. Where did you go? Where'd you go? Okay, you're right there. And then the term was, what was it? grep. Optional patterns to selectively select it in described cases. Inverts. I think we'd want, we'd want to set grep to equal not Firefox. And then we would want to, so this would only run tests that have this not Firefox in it. And so we want the opposite of that, which would be invert grep to equal true. Let me see how this works. So I'm actually going to comment this stuff out because I don't want a whole lot of noise in my test run. I'm curious to see, so it is running the test, which is not what I would have expected. Here's the Jasmine node op, so it basically ignored that. So those are my capabilities. And then this is my config. I need to config. So I get the config and I can change it, but it's not actually changing any of the configuration at all. This, I might want before session. Instead of on prepare. Because it sounds like here, it allows you to manipulate configurations depending on the capability or spec. List of spec file paths. I don't really care about that. List of capabilities. And the configuration object. My worry is that this is going to be, well, that's before session. Let me see. Let's see. If things go well, this is going to be run twice. Once for Firefox and once for Chrome. Yes. This is what I would have expected. Okay, that looks promising. But, okay. Yeah, so here it only runs browser name Firefox. So this is an option. Let's grab. So I'm not going to check the title. This is going to be done through through Jasmine. That's the word. But I am going to check if the browser name matches. No, I'm just going to get the browser name. That's all I'm going to get. And I'm going to skip through it. So I'm going to do, let's use, we're going to do capabilities. Dot browser name here. And then I need this. This is going to be a JavaScript template literal, which is using backtick instead of single quote or double quote. And it allows you to more easily embed variables into your thing. So one thing I'm curious, so one issue with this approach is that you can no longer do grep from the command line because this just completely annihilates it. Okay, so somebody had some ideas. Can't skip specific test in spec file by WebdriverIO because WebDriver runs all tests in spec file only filtered by tags rather than right. So I think I'm basically trying to get around the fact that WebdriverIO doesn't allow that. Okay, so let's try this. This should result in Chrome running, Chrome running and Firefox being pending. Perfect. So Chrome ran and Firefox was pending. Okay, let's try, grab this. So here's another one where I'm going to skip on Firefox, so I can delete that. Let me see if I have any more. Here's another one. Yeah, so I've had some issues with Firefox, mainly because all these tests that they have are like really crazy use cases. I thought I had an issue in here. Requires inputs at Firefox. So this is basically saying only run this, only test this in Firefox. That would be a good next step to add to this, is only testing, having a test that only runs in a single browser. So every other browser will skip it. That's tough because I don't know. I don't know how to say this or that. We can try and figure it out though. Okay, so I'm going to come back into here. I'm going to run all my tests. And they're all up to date. Okay. So if everything goes to plan, I should have all of the tests run in Chrome and then have all of them except 3 run in Firefox. Everything goes as planned. Hello, Kiki. I really like these 2 chocolate chips just sitting there waiting. Quick question about which IDE I use. I use Sublime Text 3. A lot of people out there use Visual Studio Code, and I've got nothing against it except that I am very familiar with Sublime Text 3 and don't really want to learn a new IDE right now. Okay, so Chrome passed. Chrome had a pending, but I think that is just a pending one. Let's check it out. Cursor when editing email inputs. That was in text inputs.txt. Text inputs dash that. There, yeah. So this is just a test that we're skipping right now, because the web API set selection range that we're trying to use doesn't work in email input types. So same thing here in Firefox, and then here's another Firefox. It skips that one, that, and then skips those two. Okay, that's working pretty well. Some improvements we could make. So better way done improvements. Allow grep to be passed in line, and then allow running a test only. So let's try this. If I were to make this a service, which it could definitely be a service, because with services you can hook into before session pretty easily. Another question about WebStorm. WebStorm's pretty cool. I wanted to try it out a while back. Actually, I did try it out a while back and was really happy with a lot of the functionality of it. One big thing for me is just the speed of opening up a text editor / IDE. A lot because I like to use them for notes, kind of like what I'm doing right here. And I felt like with WebStorm, it was kind of interfering with that. So if I wanted to create a new file, I could just create an untitled thing, type some notes here, close it, don't save it, kind of thing. In WebStorm, when I tried it out, you had to like name the file before you could even get it open. And I didn't want, like, if I'm just typing a quick file, I didn't want to mess with that. So that's why I don't use it right now. And again, I'm probably not going to switch just because this works for me. So I don't want to, unless there's a really good reason, I don't want to switch away from what's working right now, because I've just got too many other things in my life that don't work, and I don't want to have to add one more thing to figuring out along those lines. So anyway, let's look at the Jasmine grep option. So that's going to be under something here. Jasmine grep. I almost typed Grasmin, combining grep and Jasmine. Using grep, we'll call every defined before grep option. Why is this in Protractor? Did they have a link to it though? No. Okay. I'm just looking for documentation. Okay. Do they have releases page? There we go. And in here, I'm going to search for grep. Oh, I've got another sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Need to make sure I don't have any boogers showing. That'll live on the internet for too long. Add command line option to run only a subset of tests. Yeah. Jasmine npm does provide a filter option. So what does this do? Is there like something special in here? Do you want to actually, it says it has 3 results. What are you talking about? Adapter.spec, so that's get grep match, adapter. I think that's what we want. spec.pend. Could I have used that? So basically this is just get environment spec filter. Where, okay, they're getting Jasmine. Oh, I bet I could have used spec.pend. Oh well. So it looks like this grep functionality is custom to JavaScript, or sorry, not to JavaScript, to WebdriverIO. Yes, there was a question about uploading the result of all this. This is already available. I think if you go to the YouTube watch page, it's linked on there, the repo, the GitHub repo for all of these. So yeah, I'll be adding these in there. Okay, so get grep match. So it takes the options and return no grep. So basically if grep isn't provided in the options, or spec.getFullName match. Okay, so it's getting the full name and it's running a regex on it. So what we could do is go back to our regex statement or our regex stuff and write a super complicated regex that checks on multiple things. So let's see how I would want to do that. Let's create a new regex, and this time we will go with regex101.com. And what we want to say is like not Firefox or or like at Firefox. So I basically want to add multiple ways of getting a match, I think. Let's see. Match. Spec.pend. And when do they run this? This is just during the run command. Oh, that was also part of the same file. What is this Jasmine spec filter? Custom boot. Oh, interesting. That sounds interesting. I wonder if I have access to the spec filter. So that does jasmine.getEnvironment. This .jrunner is equal to new Jasmine. So what I'm having trouble figuring out in my head right now is how to combine multiple greps. So I want one that will check for the browser name and say don't run if the browser name, if the test title has this exclamation mark browser name in it. I want another one that is whatever the user passes in. So let's just add some notes. Get, let's say, but you know, I don't see people passing in a lot of greps from the command line. Although I've done that with Cucumber. I pass in like tag names. There's a tags command. Let me see, Jasmine tags. Karma, Jasmine spec tags, Jasmine tagged. Tag and filter Jasmine specs. Maybe this would be better to go with. On the server, on the browser. Set included tags. Require Jasmine tagged. But it hasn't been updated in 3 years, and it's got a build error. I don't think this is going to work. And it's written in CoffeeScript, so even if I wanted to like update something, and describe no, okay. Jasmine custom matchers. No, it's not what I want. Let's see. Someone posted. Srihari posted possibly a regex, not Firefox or not Chrome. Yeah, so what happens if we want... Oh. Yeah. I don't know how that would necessarily work. Integrate options. Okay, so exclude specs using that, and then exclude specs. Actually, include specs. Wait. Oop. So in this case, we'd want to say if browser name does not equal at whatever, skip the test. And in this case, if browser name equals whatever, skip the test. Okay. I need to level up my regex skills. That's what I need to do to make this all work. So my grep. So this is basically a regex right here. It's a very simple regex. So it's basically, this is what the regex is right now. And so it would match this test, this test, this test, this test, and that test. I want to say if that or how do you do ors? Or Chrome. And instead of Chrome, it's going to be another one. So what? That would be a capturing group that we want here. So I don't really care that it's a capturing group at this point, but not Firefox. So let's add a couple more options of at Chrome. So I want this one to match. So I can do the dot that and that. I don't know if that's necessarily, I don't think I really have to do that. This I'm pretty sure is not correct. Groups or references, lookarounds, alternation. Acts like a Boolean or matches the expression before or after. It can operate within a group or a whole expression. That's kind of what I want. Interesting. I'd have to look more into that substitution. Do flags, ignore case, no anchors, character classes. That's a character set. I don't want a character set. I want a full there. What if I do det star, whoops. Does this need to be a full group as well? Let's just add groups to everything, huh? Yeah, it can be. I don't think it needs to be, though, is what I'm thinking. Or, and then I need it 0 of the following. That's what I need. So quantifier, lazy versus that's a group. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Group of Firefox or not Firefox. So would I do it like that? I want to say this is the whole group. So basically I want to say if the @ followed by, oh, you know what I could do? I'm going to need look around, a negative look ahead. Specifies a group that cannot match after the main expression. I think this is what I need. So that's question no. Okay. So I can get rid of that. I can get rid of this. And I can do question exclamation mark. And it matches. What if I move that to be this? It didn't like that at all. Whoops. So it would match this one. I think that's the expression I want to go with. That's the expression that I get. Have you ever had to knock on wood? And this would need to be there. Let's try this out. I think this is giving me the result I want. Dot match, and then I will, oh, it's going to be the other way. Slash, slash, dot. So I really wish I hadn't have used test cases that included quotation marks in it. Okay, so this one should oh man, dang it. Hate when I do that. Match. Okay, so this returns null. That's what we would expect. If I did not Firefox, it matches. If I do not Chrome, it should not match. Perfect. Then if I do @Chrome, it should match. Perfect. And not Chrome, not Safari. Good. Okay. Whoa, that's a crazy regex. So @A through Z word plus minus. Yeah, then I'd have to do a comparison on that group that we're capturing. And I can't really do that. Yes, I can't really do that because of this just gets passed into the Cucumber.js, Jasmine, or sorry, the wrong framework. It gets passed into here, and that defines whether it gets passed. So it's just checking to see if it has a grep match. It's not checking to see what those matches are. So I think this would work to handle those two. To test this out, I have my @Firefox. So in theory, if I run these tests, I should get one more passing. So let's do them all. I should have one more pending from Chrome. So Chrome, this one should be pending, which is kind of odd to call it pending, but thanks y'all for tagging along and watching so far. Been really fun having a bunch of people in the chat room and everything. If this is your first time watching, let me know. I'm interested to hear if you've watched the stream before or whatnot. And if you have any other YouTubers, I'm always looking for other people who kind of do this sort of thing because it's really interesting to me. There we go. In Chrome, it was a Firefox, so it skipped it. This one was the one that is pending right now, so that's fine. And in Firefox, it ran it, which is what we would want. And it skipped the non-Firefox one. Awesome. That seems to have worked decently. So give me a second. Let's see. I'm going to take a break in just a few minutes. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to eat this cookie. What I'm going to do. But in a few minutes, I'm going to take like a 5-10 minute break just to breathe. It's 3:45 here. Okay, so, and I think what I'll do is when I get back, I was thinking about turning this into a WebdriverIO service, but I don't know if it's really enough to like require that. The other thing I'm thinking about is integrate the options from the command line. So we got this working. That was surprisingly less effort than I was expecting. And then this formatting, this is Prettier.js formatting. This is one thing that I'm not crazy about with Prettier.js. Is like, it just, oh, here's where we're going to decide where to go to the next line. And then, like, all this stuff should be right next to this stuff, but it's not. I'd much prefer, I don't know, whoops. I'd much prefer it to be like this. Does that not, I don't think that works, though, from a JavaScript syntax point of view. Cool. Nice to hear. It's your first time that you got to watch along. Thankfully, I've been able to have a decently regular schedule with this, so you can kind of plan ahead and everything. But yeah, so you're an SDET and just trying to get into JS automation. Have you done other automation, like using Java or Ruby, and you're trying to do JavaScript based, or have you just been doing manual so far? I'm guessing SDET, you've probably done some other type of automated testing, but I could be wrong about that. I think the simplest thing I could say is, instead of integrating options from the command line, we just, if options are passed in through the command line, then skip this bit. So to do that, I would say if that, then just return. So if grep is defined, then return. Otherwise, add our own. I think that's what I would want to do. So don't run our grep if command line defined. To test this, I can do --. Let me bring that up a little bit. Config.grep is equal to not Firefox. And then I'll also only run the number inputs.test.js file. Actually, let's just do any test with decimal in it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, well. Cannot find module. Oh, that's what I did wrong. It needs to be --. Config. So it's running in both browsers, and it should run only tests that have decimal in it. And in Firefox, it skipped the one with decimal. Yeah, it completely ignored this value. I think I did that wrong. It shouldn't be config.nodeops. It should just be jasmine.nodeops.grep. And that comes across as undefined. Oh, darn. Config.jasmine.nodeops. Because I know in WebdriverIO, when running it from the command line, you can pass in Jasmine ops. Okay. Where was I? So instead of Jasmine node ops, it's just Jasmine ops. Let's see how that goes. What'd you mention? You've done Cucumber, Java API, and UI for more than a year now. And JBehave. Bit of performance using JMeter. Yeah, a lot of people out there use JMeter. I've never done JMeter. So it's still not working. Jasmine ops. That is so weird. Why is it named Jasmine ops instead of Jasmine node ops? And then why can Jasmine node ops work? Why would they change it? .grep. Because in here, it checks Jasmine node ops. So there must be something in WebdriverIO that like changes it? That is so weird. And then what about Jasmine node ops? Every other example uses Jasmine node ops. But I guess when you pass it in through the command line, it changes it over. Maybe. So in the library, we have the runner. No, we have the CLI. And in the CLI file, it defines Jasmine node op or Jasmine ops. And let me see, is there an alias? So it uses Optimist. Config file, RGB config. How strange. What I'm really confused about is how in the CLI it defines Jasmine ops and passes it over. There's a lot of arguments. That's so weird. But, I mean, it worked. No, didn't work. But I don't think I've run it again since changing it. So let's try this and see. Okay. And then, yeah, I've used Postman before for testing. I haven't tried out Newman. Okay, so it did do that. It did have decimal, so it should be running only the decimal test right now. Oh, I'm out of LaCroix. No, see, it's still running these. But it did ignore my node ops entirely. Sorry, my this one entirely. I'm from Texas, down south. Was born and raised here and have lived here in various parts of the state. So that's where I am from. Flaky test not being rerun. Update CLI to use Jasmine. Yeah, here they actually change it to Jasmine node ops. Why did this get closed? Oh, they opened it and then closed it. July 2016, July 2016. Strange. I'm almost worried that Jasmine ops being passed in from the command line doesn't actually work. So I could try this out by changing the default timeout interval. So if I come in, I'll comment out all this code. So we're not going to have any code that we're messing with. I'm going to come down to my default timeout interval. I'm going to comment that out. Huh. Off to Tennessee. There's actually a pretty good tech community out in Tennessee. Nashville has a conference that they throw out there that I went to last year called November. That was a pretty good conference. And I talked about WebdriverIO, and another guy deciphered this. What is his actual name? Josh. He gave another talk on WebdriverIO, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to set the timeout interval to 1. So it should break the test immediately when running it. And then I'm going to try overwriting that timeout interval. And we shall see. So this should time out immediately. Yeah. Whole bunch of timeouts. That's what we were expecting. The other thing I'm going to do is turn off Firefox, just so that it runs a little bit quicker. Okay. So I should be able to override the Jasmine ops dot default timeout interval and set that up to 10,000. So it should not time out anymore, in theory. Yes, so it still times out, and then if I change it to Jasmine node ops, it's going to still time out because it basically ignores that parameter. Anything not defined in the parameters, yeah, it just gets ignored. So I really think this doesn't work. So you can pass in Jasmine ops, but it just completely ignores it. It's like, oh, that's nice of you to have done such a thing, and then just ignores it. I'm going to look back at when did he updated this in 2015. Okay, where'd that other one come from? Not in here. It would be, I can close that, I can close this, I can close this, and I can close that. And let's go ahead and save this. Okay. Back. Use. Is there a reason? Okay. Why would all these include Jasmine node ops? Oh, because they included their capabilities. I see. Filters. How about open issues and pull requests? My pull request. I just wanted pull requests. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. I see. So they changed that over in their documentation. Is there a reason? Raison. This was closed. Looks alike. Jazz. Like you can't set the Jasmine ops via. I wish I could reopen it. Oh, it's been deleted. I guess probably not going to get much success if I just comment on this. What? Yeah. Oh, why am I so sneezy today? What is there to be sneezy about? That's so weird. I'm going to comment on this, but I think I'll also open an issue. So let's reference this one. Let's open an issue. The problem. Unable override Jasmine options. Form from the command line. Okay, so the problem is, God, WebdriverIO version, node version. So let's get our WebdriverIO version. How do we do that? I know how. We go into package.json and do WebdriverIO 4.12 is my version. And then my node version, I do node dash, get out of there, node dash v. I'm on 8.9. There, and version 8.9. Standalone mode or test runner. Test runner. Sync additional WDIO.Jasmine dash framework, I believe is what it's called, right? That's what we were looking at? Yeah. Okay, so the problem is when passing in Jasmine options via the command line, they are ignored. For example, and let's go back over here. Where were we? There. We want to run that. And I need to change this, so I'll just do WDIO. So this is going to kind of assume that we have WebdriverIO installed globally. And with our config file being, where was it? Here? What the world? Oh. Press the wrong button. Because that's what I did, right? I did, did I have a lot of coffee? No, I have not had a lot of coffee. I do have tea, but I have tea every day. Jasmine ops. Most every day. It will stick with the default. And same is true for using the grep option. Okay. And then details. I believe this is caused by the name of the command line argument not matching the name that the property name not matching the property name that WDO Jasmine framework is looking for. And this is where we go. Isn't this like the most exciting things to do is fill out issues? Jasmine ops here. Especially on a Friday afternoon. Spend it just filling out issues. And then I need to get to the Jasmine framework. I figure this might be helpful for anybody who needs to do a similar thing in the future. I don't really expect this to be fixed in this version because of they're going to be releasing their latest version soon, version 5 here. Which will be coming out hopefully soon, hopefully. And so they'll probably just fix it in version 5, although it is a pretty simple fix. So I could just open a PR for this. Should I do that instead? The only thing is I don't want to have to test it. It requires so much work to have to just test it. Just like set up a whole new thing. I guess I could. And the other thing is I'm worried that I would break some existing functionality. But I could submit a PR. I think I'll do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this right here. I'm going to go take a short break. I'm back in about 10 minutes. And then we are going to submit a PR to fix this issue just for the sake of it. Just because that's what we want to do. So thanks for watching along, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay, I'll be back in just 1 second. I almost forgot to turn my volume back up. Maybe I don't want it quite that high. It seems a little high. Okay, there we go. I got myself another sparkling water. That's what you call it. And it's going to look at opening a PR pull request for why is that failing? Seems like a really simple change. Some issue with the CI system. Yikes. Hopefully my crunching isn't too loud. Apologies if it is. One thing I'm afraid of is if I spend too much time, well, not too much. If I spend time on this, and it just doesn't get merged in. For the spec file names, defining your configuration file to run all the specs or dialog in the spec file names. That makes sense to me. I could actually merge it. Okay. Yeah, let's go and do it. Let's make this happen. We are going to create a new pull request. So to do this, I need to fork WebdriverIO. I already have it forked, which makes me sad because I'm 135 commits behind WebdriverIO master. Check this message. All right, so I got a question. Vue.js app at the moment trying to do a proof of concept using Cucumber.js. Do you suggest going with Protractor, Nightwatch, or WebdriverIO? So between Nightwatch and WebdriverIO, I would recommend WebdriverIO because mainly the features that WebdriverIO has through its test runner are really helpful. If I check Nightwatch.js, I haven't checked it in a while, but it is a little bit limited in its feature set. Compared to WebdriverIO. For one, you have to write in this format. Secondly, you have to do this client.url ... and this makes it more difficult to log messages out or to do other sorts of things. It also, you mentioned you wanted to use Cucumber, and I'm not really sure that it has Cucumber support. Yeah, I don't think it has Cucumber support. I haven't necessarily confirmed that, but it doesn't seem like it does. So that's what I would recommend from there. And then you also asked about Protractor. And if I remember, last time I checked, which was a couple years ago, to be honest, Protractor was only for Angular tests. Yeah, it seems like that still is the case, that it's mainly for Angular tests. And it has some good things by this by model, but that's actually pretty easy to do in WebdriverIO. And you also, it is nice that it don't have all these callbacks. I kind of got rid of that. That's nice. But if you're doing a Vue.js app, you could use Protractor, but you're not going to get a lot out of it compared to WebdriverIO. So that's my recommendation. There's another one out there that you didn't mention called Cypress.io, which is pretty cool EDE testing suite, and it's open source, but they also have a plan that you can run all your tests on, like this dashboard. They're basically selling the dashboard. So you can install it yourself, download it, but then they can host your stuff for it. So that might be worth taking a look at. I think the dashboard that they have is super cool, but the way that you write your tests in there is not as good as writing it in WebdriverIO, in my opinion. It's not as, I just don't like it as much. But let me see, contains type click. So you have to do this .contains .click instead of just doing type in there. But I figured it was worth mentioning. And I think it only runs in Chrome. Yeah, so it doesn't use Selenium. And I don't think it has Cucumber support either, now that I think about it. But there's some cool other stuff in there. So that's those are my thoughts on that. And I actually do want to do a video on testing a Vue.js application, just to see if there's any hiccups with it. I did one for React on YouTube. It's available, but I haven't done it for Vue.js yet. And I figured that's probably a pretty popular thing. I could also do one like just comparing Protractor, Nightwatch, WebdriverIO, and Cypress.io, and see how they all kind of compare. But anyway, what I wanted to do was open a PR, and so what I need to do is rebase my WebdriverIO with the forked one. So let's see, I think I already have it checked out. If I do get remote list, get remote, I have origin and upstream. So if I do get fetch upstream, get origin upstream. I'm really kind of surprised that GitHub doesn't have a quick like sync button, because this has to happen all the time. I'm sure this is like a very popular page for them, So I git fetched upstream, git checkout master. I am on master. Merge upstream and master. Okay, let's try that. Man, I didn't want to do that. See, I didn't want all that junk in there. Git reset dash dash. Let's see. Head -1. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Remove all unstaged files. This is not what I wanted to do. Okay, GS, GL, those are shortcuts that I have for git status and git latest, git pull. I think latest because that's how I remember GL, but it's really git pull. I think I can do git rebase or upstream master, and that works. Okay, so now what I did, I rebased the upstream version, which is from the WebdriverIO. So that's set to WebdriverIO with this one. So if I refresh this page, it should say that it's even with WebdriverIO master. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to create a branch. So that's GCHB, which for me is git checkout branch. And I'm going to call it Jasmine node ops. And then I'm going to come back over to this pull request that I had looked at. Jasmine node ops here. And I'm going to steal what they did. Okay. So I need to edit lib CLI. Lib/CLI. So ST is my shortcut for Sublime Text. Oh, I need to add one on there. Okay, so they had Jasmine ops. I'll do a global find and replace and change that to Jasmine node ops. Perfect. You know, yeah, even here they had it set to Jasmine node ops. That's interesting. And I come back here. Jasmine node ops options. Perfect. Okay, so that link works. That's the change there. And can I cherry pick? Yeah, in theory I could cherry pick. Let me search for Jasmine ops. See if there's any Jasmine ops. Where was that? Okay, that was all in here. Sanitize Jasmine ops versus sanitize Jasmine node ops. I think the reason I didn't want to cherry pick was if there were any real differences. Because let's see, this was opened up. When was this one opened up? 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So there's probably been a bunch of changes since then. And I just don't want to like have to deal with merge conflicts when it's easy enough just to change a single term in there. Okay. So to test this out without having to release it or anything, I'm going to run npm link. And what that does is basically when I try to install WebdriverIO, it will actually use my local copy instead of pulling it down from npm. So I got to give this a minute to run, and then I might also, they have contributing, where is it? Contributing. In here, fork the repo, run the tests, add a test for my change, make test pass, push your fork, and submit pull request. This might be worth taking a look at, adding a test for this change. How to run the tests. Yeah, this is what I'd want to run. Let's try running this. Okay, npm run test WebdriverIO. And I wonder if, yeah, well, cannot find module, .build launcher. Oh, I think I need to build it first. Right? Yeah, because the build isn't there. So I run the build command. I kind of just guessed on that. And now I should be able to run my test. It might come back with a Selenium error, yeah. So I need to have Selenium up and running. Okay, so I have Selenium standalone installed. It's an npm JS or npm package. Uh-oh. I'll check out master and try it. This is quite a page. It looks so pretty. Why are there so many test errors? Yeesh. This is not looking good. Why in the world are there so many test errors? Oh, that's where I run the build. I bet I need to do an npm install, because I haven't done that in forever. So I have this npm nuke command that deletes my node modules directory and then reinstalls everything. And so I'm thinking one of these errors might have to do, or one or two of the errors may have to do with me just having outdated dependencies, because I had forgotten that just because I rebased, it never reinstalled all my dependencies. So I'm thinking that's what is going on there. So we wait, and while we're waiting for that, I'm going to run npm link WebdriverIO. I'm not going to actually run it yet. I said I was going to, but I'm not. I'm going to lie like a dog. npm, not npm, Selenium standalone. I'll go ahead and run install just in case. Okay. Just in case any of the Chrome drivers or Firefoxes or Phantom had been done. I'm also going to install this Phantom.js pre-built, just in case that's out of date. It's considering Phantom.js. Just considering it. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Okay. Do I have some love for sign in? That's cool. Open Collective is pretty cool. Helps. That's not a bad annual budget. Yeah. Helps support open source libraries so people can work on them. Pretty neat. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, that's installed. Let's try running this again. And we shall see what's going to happen. Oh, nope, I forgot. I done forgot. I need to start. Feeling kind of goofy because it's almost the end of the day. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to play Pandemic Legacies Season 2. Okay. Run my test. Any board game aficionados out there? That's a weird preview image. It's a really cool board game. It's super complex, and you basically, if you've heard of like Risk Legacy, it's kind of like that. Why do I have to log in just to see the image? Oh well. Jeez. So this is the board, and you actually put stickers on the board itself. And so this big ocean area, you get to put stickers on. You got all these cards that you put stickers on, and you rip cards up, and it plays over 12 months. So these are the months that are on the board, and you kind of play over it. Hey, thanks. Oh no, it's still failing. So many failing things. I'm pretty sure my change didn't make all these tests fail. Error in before session error boo. What? Hold on. Is there a boo in there? Ah, there is. Wow. Okay, sorry. I gotta tweet this out. It's too funny. Hold on with me. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. Some days. Awesome. Chilling with a beer. I'm out of beer right now. I may be drinking another type of drink. But thanks for the kind words. It's fun to hear. New error, boo. Boo, 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 boo. What? Return a promise, resolve, reject. That is so crazy. Cool, thanks for the follow on Twitter. So yeah, that's Pandemic Legacy. Lots of failing things. Okay, I'm gonna stash this, check out master, and I'm gonna run the test again, and I'm guessing I'm gonna see just as many errors. Hoping I'm gonna see just as many errors. Yeah, there's the first. Why are there so many errors in this? So I can go into their build, and oh, I wonder if my version of Node isn't right. So this is the latest, and it runs test CI. That's the build. Oh, I might need to rebuild. That's one thing that I totally forgot to do. Yeah. Maybe that was the issue. Oh God, look at all those channels that have to close. Come on. Okay, let's clear that, and then I'm gonna run npm run build. Maybe that's the issue. because I had those. I'd run build before I ran the install. Damn. Damn. Well, that's stinky. Oh, well. Hey, there's that boo error. So these all passed. All those failed. Okay, well, I think I'm just gonna keep moving on, and because in theory it shouldn't cause anything. I guess it was like expecting an error to be thrown. Because it didn't really like fail the test in that instance. Okay, so that's the CLI. Let's check out these tests. So under test and configuration. Oh yeah. Setup site spec. Default index, mobile, Travis, Mocha ops, fixtures. Oh, that's a lot of configurations. But you know, when I searched for Jasmine ops, it wasn't defined anywhere else. Okay, it would be under WDIO because that looks at the configuration file. Custom command, hooks, miscellaneous, multi-remote. I don't know where it is, and I don't have the wherewithal in my head to figure out where it is. My brain is essentially fried. Desktop tests. Where would they check the configuration? So if I do in here, search for spec. Oh, test fixtures exclude. Okay. Yeah, config parser. Okay, that's where we would add a test. Oh wait, this is config parser, so that's different. We're not checking the config parser. We'd be checking the configuration file. Because config parser kind of comes after the CLI. Let's see. In specs. Yeah, it would be in the specs. Just wondering what specific file, because there's a lot of files in there. Test site config. I think I might just skip adding a test case for it, because in reality, what am I testing? That the thing that I said is the thing that I said? Like, there's no real logic in here. Let's go back to Jasmine node ops. It's just, you're just describing Jasmine node ops versus Jasmine ops. That's it. There's no, like, if I had changed this logic, maybe that would be important, but I haven't. I've just changed the property name, and that's it. So I'm going to let myself off the hook here. So I'm going to go back to Jasmine node ops. I'm going to do a git stash pop. So I had stashed those changes. I'm going to git reset this package lock change. No, git checkout dash package lock. There we go. Because I don't want to commit that change, but I do want to commit this change. Git diff. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. now I am going to manually test this though. So I'm going to link in WebdriverIO. This changes this to run, instead of using the local install of or the one that's installed to this directory, it points to the global, which then points to my custom one. Hopefully you followed that, because I'm not going to explain it again. Okay, and then I'm going to run Jasmine node ops and default timeout interval. I'll just comment that out. Let's try that again. Did it like completely nuke my... What did it do? Screenshots cleanup. Why would it even be trying to load that? I don't have that defined anywhere. Oh, I do. But it's also not going to work because it's not going to run Selenium standalone. I guess I could comment that out right now because I have my Selenium service running right here. Okay, let's try this again. Jasmine framework. So something about me pointing to WebdriverIO completely messed everything else up. And I'm afraid if I run another npmi, actually, let's just do an npm nuke. If I do this, then the WebdriverIO reference is probably going to go away. Can't read property grep of undefined. Oh. Okay. It's actually a good thing that it couldn't read it. So this should be checking to see if Jasmine node ops is defined in the config and if grep is defined on Jasmine node ops. But it looked like it actually did finish some of these tests. So it seems like, there we go. Yeah, if that's undefined. And then if I remove it, then it should time out, shouldn't it? Oh, I've made a huge mistake. There we go. Okay, I'll just stop that. And this should time out. And you know what? Let's, before, just end it all. Close that. How many Chrome windows do I have open from manually closing these? Not great. And then I only care about testing. This was one thing that I wanted to do, is be able to run in only one browser. Like easily pass in, oh, I only want to run in one browser. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's try this again. So this should time out. Yeah, that was fun. It's like it already failed before it even did anything. Okay, now I should pass in default timeout interval, and it should run again entirely. What was that about? Jasmine node out ops. Where'd that before statement go? There. Default timeout interval of 1. So why did that not get passed in? Oh, you know why? I think it's not using this WebdriverIO instance. I'll run npm link again. Man, I hope this works. This one is still sitting there and I can't quit it. I hope that was the right one. Yeah, it was, because it's still... Okay, there we go. Finally, that closed. npm link WebdriverIO. That finished installing. Run my link and run my test. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I think what's happening is that it's trying to load this framework from this folder. So instead, what I can do, I don't know if this is gonna work. WebdriverIO / build lib no bin WebdriverIO. Let's try that. No, nothing. Son of a birch tree. I suppose I could try doing this over here. And that should be the only thing I need to test with. Invalid option spec. Really? What? This is not right. Oh, mercy. Why am I running it over here? That's... See, I'm losing it. Try this again. Well, at least those tests pass. What? Do I need... I might need to build it again. Let's try that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, see, the default timeout interval has updated. Okay, so that's what went on was I had made the change to this file, but I forgot to build it. Okay, so what happens if I leave off this timeout interval? Okay, it all fails, which is good, as long as it didn't like throw in a fit. Okay, now I'm only going to add libcli commit fix misnamed Jasmine ops CLI param. Sure, we'll say that. Okay, so I'm pushing this up to my fork here. See, Jasmine node ops, and then I'm going to do a compare and pull request base fork on the WebdriverIO branch or WebdriverIO repo from here. Fix misnamed. Is misnamed spelled right? Sure. Sure. Okay. Proposed changes. Type of changes. Okay. Preview. Oh, that's cool. These are comments. That's really neat. Okay. So it looks like. Let's see. Cut that out. Oh, I think my kid just hurt himself. Type of changes. Proposed changes. When passing in Jasmine options via the command line, they are currently ignored. This updates the CLI param. Let's throw that in there as well. Updates CLI param to match what? Jasmine framework. Walk is expecting. Types of changes, bug fix, non-breaking change, which fixes an issue, new feature, breaking change. Okay, checklist. I have read through contributing. Yes, I have. I have added tests to prove that my feature is effective. I have not. I have added this. I have not. Further comments. And then further comments. Watch the live stream and you will understand. Is that an okay comment to make? Oh wow, it actually links to it. That's cool. And then there. Oh yeah, I want to say there was a PR open for this previously, but was closed for an undisclosed reason. I'm assuming the person was paid off by. Who should they have been paid off by? Okay, so I can go away from that issue. I can do this search again. Search again. Come back over here. There's a previous number. We'll link to that. I need to know who they were paid off by. You can't just say the mob. You have to go with like a specific mob or the mafia. You can't just say that. Who? By LaCroix? Do you think LaCroix Corporation paid him off? If y'all won't tell me something. Yeah, I think that's who I'm gonna go with. There we go. Okay. I hear screaming. Do you think they're gonna mind being Am I gonna get sued for slander? Is this gonna like ruin my livelihood? A stupid joke. One. How about instead of saying I'm assuming, I could say one could venture guess that the person was paid off, although no evidence is provided to prove this. Certainly this is something okay to do. Okay, so that's that. Here's my changes. There's my changes. Let's create the pull request. Okay, and hey, look, I've already signed the agreement. I think that is going to wrap things up for today. Let me do a couple things. I can edit my video, and I'm gonna add a couple links. Right, test repo. Here are we opened. And here's, oh, you know what? Let's commit these changes, huh? So git status, git diff, package lock changes. I don't care about that. I'm gonna go back to my configuration file. I'm going to undo that, undo that, undo that, undo that. Keep that. So if node ops is defined and that is defined, actually, I'm going to comment this out for now. Well, yeah, I can keep it because it's not going to do anything right off the bat. Now, you know what it will do is if that gets defined in here, it will use that instead of going with this. I think that's okay. Okay, then I need to undo that comment. We want that. And then I need to go to my services and, oh. Uncomment that. Diff, oh, so much package. Git checkout dash dash package lock. Now I can diff. Good. Before session, good. That is good. Oh, I can get rid of this console log. Oh. Let's just get rid of all of this. Right? Because we don't do any of that right now. It's all here. Okay, let's try this again. So those are those. Here's my before session. I don't have anything in there. Before tests, I just added a space. Who cares about that? Status, git add, git commit, skip, add ability to skip tests based on browser name. Cool, push that up. And cancel, save changes there. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's save these changes again. Okay, close and come back over here. You ruined Thanos. Wasn't that in the latest super crossover event of the century? I haven't seen that one yet. I'm not going to see it, so you really didn't ruin anything for me. I just don't watch a lot of movies. Okay, so this is open. That's cool. I can close. Well, I'll keep it open. And close that out. I can close this out. Keep that open, keep that open. Oh, I did have an update. I didn't mention this, but in the PR I had opened a while back, and I did want to respond to him, but I guess I'm not going to be able to. Let's see where it is. They did assign a component DOM in there. I got a response back basically saying thanks for the update, but they're busy with other stuff and stuff like that. So I basically it's just gonna sit waiting for this to finish out. So anyway, thank you for watching again, and I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your beers, and I will be back next week probably. So have a great one. Bye y'all.